Good evening, Steve. We're getting ready to run the final of 3 tests on the new DWARF app, and then quite a few targets to visit tonight. So we're going to start with covering the lens of the telescope. Hello, Radar fan. Hi, Zeno. Okay, I'm going to start recording for the benefit of DWARF Lab, so excuse the impersonal comments over the next couple minutes. Okay, we're going to go Atlas. And we're going to pick a target. I plan to go back to Vega. I have the lens covered. And we're going to say go. At this point, calibration should fail, but it's going to take a while to fail. Still making its way around. Okay, good. Calibration failed. Now we're supposed to go manual. And tap focus, then calibrate. Once done, tap here to start, go to focus. Auto. Okay, I forgot to uncover the lens. We'll try again. That's more like it. Okay, the focus is good. Now we calibrate. Yeah, this should be a piece of cake. Lots of stars. Success. Now we hit start go to. That was quick. And now we do the imaging. Function. Settings. Okay, we're going to leave enhanced on. 50 frames. There is 50. And then gain 50. Shutter 15. And infrared cut. All right. So far so good. Once we're done with Vega and this test, we're going to go back and do M13 for a globular cluster. And then C4, the Iris Nebula. If we don't find it, we'll go for NGC 7000 California Nebula. Or sorry, North America. And then M11, the Wild Duck Cluster. This is looking nice. This is pleasantly good. "50 frames at 15-second exposure is 12.5 minutes plus the overhead. So we are halfway with 25 frames and all 25 stacked. I am also testing a new power adapter on the dwarf, and it seems to be holding the power, but there is no sign that it is charging at this point. I do not see a charge sign next to the 90%. "30 frames, 20 to go. we still have a minimal amount of field of view rotation or field rotation. I have the dwarf on an Alt-Az mount right now. Last night when I did the first two tasks, when it reached 50 frames, it did not end. I had to end it manually. So we have 3 frames to go and this task will be complete. I like very much the spikes on Vega. Let's see when it gets to 50 if it's going to stop and exit on its own or whether I have to stop it manually. It did not stop. Okay. This completes this task. Now we're going to hop north to M13 end session. Okay. Atlas. Search for M13. And go to it. Okay. Go to success. Yes, there she is. function. Okay, we'll leave AI enhance on. IR cut gain 50, shutter 15, and let's see what it gives us. So looking at the schedule for tonight, after M13, I plan to do a nebula either C4 or C20. We'll see if, or maybe both. The moon rises at 11:24, but it's not going to go too far up. It's not going to get too high. Saturn rises at 33 minutes after midnight. When we get to midnight my time, which is in 2 hours, we're going to switch telescopes. The second scope is pretty much on standby right now, and waiting to be told where to go. Let's see if we can send it somewhere useful. Will it plate solve? We're going to have to worry about focusing those stars fairly soon. But in the meantime, let's see if plate solve is going to work. Okay, exposure at 30 is way too high. Haha, that's more like it. Plate solve. And it found the target. Stanley, we're doing M13 on the dwarf, but in the meantime I have the big scope ready for my planetary hopping later tonight, and I thought I'll put it to some good use. This is Albeiro and its neighbors. And if we try sending it to M13, M13 is going to be big for it and high. Where is M13? Wow, it's way up there. Okay, let's see what happens. Nope. It's staring straight inside the dome. Alright, let's see if M92 is within reach. No, it's not much better. I'm preparing for the International Space Station in the morning, and that's gonna pass at about 100 degrees and 60 degrees, so this is where we're going to need to go. And let's see if it's gonna show us some good stuff here. Zena, we're dealing with an interesting situation in our backyard because one of the does delivered a fawn, and the fawn is tiny, the size of a cat, and it has been hiding under the garden house. That's why the two does were guarding. That's not too bad. Is it plate solvable though? No. So we may have to go a bit lower with the ISS. Okay, that's going to be the post-midnight drama. In the meantime, here's M13, 25 stacked. David, I am trying to buy some land that gives me 360-degree view. Right now I have a house behind the big scope that limits it quite a bit. And the other challenge is I can move the dome around and it'll allow me to look straight up. With the minor qualifier that I'm operating it remotely, and I'm 3 floors away from where the scope is, and between me and the scope are 2 sleeping dogs that I do not want to wake up right now. In the interest of marital harmony, I sacrifice part of the sky. I should be able to show you though the scope pointed fully up. 1 second. Oh no, did not mean that. If I go here, I should be able to stare straight up. Doesn't want to go. Okay. Let's see if Stellarium wants to talk to it. Okay, that is dioptron, and I should be able to move it. This should be pointing almost straight up, David. It's not happy. Okay. Let me put the scope where we can see it. M39 is a good place. M13 is almost done. So I'm gonna hurry here with M39 and get started on it. We will come back later and focus the scope. Yup, that was easy. Nope, not happy. Okay, never mind. So long, big guy, for now. And this concludes M13 with enhancement. Again, for some reason it's not exiting. So if you remember this one, M13, we're going to repeat it now without the AI enhance to see if there is much difference. Okay. We did not get off tracking M13, so there is no need to do another go-to. The only difference is that AI Enhance is turned off now. Tariq, a good telescope is one that you use. I use my smart telescopes literally every day to look at the sun during the day and look at the stars during the night. It's a lot more hassle using the big scopes. It's interesting, when we changed targets, the display shrunk and the battery is stuck at 90%. Enjoy your happy hour, Gina. Bill, I debated whether to go to Oswego tonight or stay home until I get a faster computer to Oswego. I will not be able to capture the International Space Station. And since the ISS has been gone for a while and tonight is the first night that we will actually see it, I decided to give it a go here. You may remember last time the 4 different data sources disagreed as to where it was going to be. Tonight all 4 agree on the location. So at least that is good. But it's coming high and fast. So we'll see if we're going to be able to get it or not. I was hoping to catch it at 60 degrees elevation. Now I'm revising my my goal to probably a bit lower, maybe 50. As soon as we're done with M13, we will go pay TCRB a visit. See if it had exploded yet. Well, I found a very convenient way to mount my dwarf up high. It consists of an 8-inch angle brace and one screw into the outside of the house into a stud below the window of the upper bedroom. And as long as I have it off center, I can still open one side of the window to reach to it. I think it's tomorrow's, tomorrow morning's short video will show the rough setup. But I like very much what it can see from here. Totally clear sky from north to south with absolutely no obstruction. No, David, you're missing the point. This way I can rotate it and have the dwarf polar aligned and then retighten the screw. I know what you mean. I have the screw hinged highest point of the brace, and since the house is pretty much north to south aligned, all I do is move the brace a little bit and I have my dwarf perfectly polar aligned, and I can do, it becomes an equatorial mount. Tarek, make sure to subscribe to this channel before you leave us tonight. I have over 2,000 videos that I've taken over the years with both smart telescopes and not so smart scopes. And we go live a lot here whenever the sky is clear. Thank you. I'm going to have to compare the final images carefully with the AI enhance and without the AI enhance. You guys may remember Sue from Dwarf Lab. She joined us a few nights ago. She sent us an urgent request as to who can turn around 3 specific tasks and get results to them, and we had 48 hours to do it, so I managed to do 2 of them last night before the thunderstorms moved in. and I did the third one tonight that I will send them. But they seem in this version of the software to have moved calibration rather than calibrating the dwarf at the beginning of a session. Now calibration is part of the go-to, which brings it in line with the way Seestar does things, the S50. In other words, we turn the dwarf, step one, connect to it, and then pull the atlas, pick a target, and tell it to go. And it takes over from there, doing the focusing, the calibration, and everything else. That was, David, that was the story last night. We were all calibrated, and even though there were very good clear parts of the sky, the dwarf had a hissy fit and would not calibrate again. Okay, I don't know if I still have the coordinates of TCRB. Good evening, Matthew. Those of us who, okay, come down. Those of us who enjoyed Dwarf when it was first released are relishing the great improvement that have occurred since. Okay, TCRB. RA 15, 59, 31, I think in my case 2 years ago, actually more than 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. 25, 55, 18. Tariq, I am from Pompey. Okay, this time it ended the current session. Very well. Function. Let's go back to Atlas. Manual. I think this was the comet. Okay, 15. $59. $31. Declination. 25, 55, 18. Okay, 15, 59, 31, 25, 55, 18. Let's go. Yep, it is still near Palace. And this is one place where they need to improve on it, because it does not go to where we tell it. And we have to manually pick something nearby and tell it to go to. Huh? Something not right. Dwarf has no idea what it's doing. It's staring at the house. Okay, so much for TCRB. Back to our plan with the, let's see which nebula it's gonna let us go to. Back to Atlas. It does have the Iris Nebula. I'd like to do that. There is Caldwell 4. Oh, hold on one second. Did it actually put a box around it? Yes. Let's see if it found it. Settings. Enhance on. This one I'm gonna, given that it's a nebula, I'm gonna go with 100 frames, and let's see if it gives us much. We'll let the infrared pass. I'm gonna go back to 80 and 10. That used to be my default. I tried Matthew with IC4587, it did not know about it. Seestar, on the other hand, has IC4587. The Iris Nebula is a challenge, and I want to see what it can do with it. It's not an easy target by any means. I want to see if I can focus the big guy. It seems to be fairly good. So we're going to go negative 100. Yep, totally out of focus. And now we're going to let it go positive scan. Until it finds the best focus. This is one of the beauties of Sharp Cap. When it gets focus, it will move the focuser back to where it needs to be. And this is nice focus now. I'm trying to replicate what Seestar and DWARF do automatically for the big scope. Alright, we have our focus. Now we're going to see if we can convince it to go to C4. Andromeda Galaxy is going to be joining us later tonight. I suspect this is the center. It's going to move it to the middle. I don't know if it has enough stars to stack. I'm going to have to move this star up a little bit. Stop the live stack, please. Give me the commander. All right, we should be good. Let's go back to 2 seconds. Let's go back to stacking. Now we can compare the two telescopes on the same target. Hello, Mike. We are testing the DWARF AI Enhance feature. David, I took them this afternoon, took darks. Whenever there is a change in temperature, I redo my darks. I don't know if we can attend to the overexposed part with the curves or not. Come on. No. It doesn't want to help me. Is this any better? David, I did not realize that is a programmable option. Settings, you mean? Preview stacked. "4K enhance on." We can do single. Okay, this is the unstacked, and this is the stacked. Don't know if the enhance has anything to do with it. So resetting the histogram, that's what we have. I did go with gain of 80. They recommend gain of 50, so that might be the issue. In the meantime, let's see what we have here. It's still a touch bluish. We can change that. There we go. This is Iris Nebula as seen by the big guy. We'll try to go back to gain of 50 with an exposure of 10 for the next one. No need to be sorry. We're having fun, we're experimenting, we're testing things. But I do like this guy. It's just a bit harsh. Okay, that's more like it. Yes, it is. This is the 585 mic. Big difference between the 183 and the 585 is the amp glow. I don't know what it just did, but I think it's done. Yep, end current session. M31 is still a little bit low here. I want to go to M11 next, and then we can come back to Andromeda. Uh-oh, it just showed the ISS here. I did not know that it can track it. settings, enhance on. This one does not require 100 frames, 50 should be plenty. Infrared cut. Okay, we're going to give it back to 50. I'm going to try 10. Okay, Steve, thanks for the explanation. So that's what you meant. Let's see the magic now. Okay. I was under the impression that it was applied on a frame by frame during the stack. So I'll have to go back and watch the two videos. Ever since I got the dwarf a couple of years ago, the star have been just a little bit elongated, and that has not changed. I have eggs, not stars. Hoping that Dwarf 3 will fix that problem. Good night, Steve. Okay, points well taken, David. I have to admit I've never used the DWARF on a tripod. Always had it sitting on a flat surface. I should try a good big tripod and see if that makes a difference. In the meantime, this is a nice, after 13 minutes, okay, we're gonna end the live stack. And find out if we know about the comet. There she is. Yep, it's right next to it. I already see it. We have a comet. There it is. We'll come back in a couple minutes. So the magic happened when we were not looking. You think Andromeda is high enough yet? It is in the trees. Okay, no joy. Let's go find something else. Yeah, I had not planned on doing M31 for a while. C20 is up there. Okay, careful with the settings here. We want infrared pass, that's for sure. Gain 50. Shutter 10, let's see what that gives us. The comet is not looking great yet, but it definitely is there. M51 is always a nice one to do. The nebula is starting to show here. Bill, I'm going to attempt the Serpens Nebula. See if we can get it. Maybe. Okay, we solved. We found it. Let's image it. oh, we don't have any stars. That's not gonna stack, Bill. We're way too zoomed in on it. Yep, it's not stacking. Let's see if DWARF will do it. Okay. Bill, I'm gonna write down the coordinates and see if we can send DWARF to hunt it. 1829.56. 1:14:49. Bill, as soon as we're done with the C20, we're gonna put the coordinates of the Serpens Nebula into DWARF and send it there. I am testing a new adapter to charge the DWARF. It is not showing that it's charging, but it has lost only 1% in the past 2 hours. So that's not bad. Bill, I thought of you earlier this week when the United Airbus dropped a piece upon takeoff. Don't know why those planes are falling apart. Okay, let's see what happens now. Apparently the magic is supposed to happen. We're waiting. So that's what I did wrong yesterday. I did not wait for it. When it stopped here, I stopped it. Okay, there we go. Okay. I don't know if you saw it, but that's what AI did to the final image. Okay, excellent, outstanding. Function Atlas. There's a satellite going through. (1829-56). Good night, Zeno. Okay, 1829-56. (1:14:49). Mike, I did not realize you were still with us. Okay, let's see. 1829, 56, 114, 49. Let's confirm. Okay, there it is. Let's see if we can send it there. Nope. How about here? This is the Serpens Nebula. Bill, what settings do you want? 100 frames or more? I'm gonna go with 150. We'll keep the enhance on. Yes to infrared pass. For some reason they're recommending now 50 as opposed to the 80. So we'll go with that and we'll give it a shutter of 15. Let's see what that does. I mean, no doubt they have fixed the problem with DSO focus. This is incredibly sharp. Gentlemen, I don't know if you saw a picture on astrophotography Facebook group this morning. Somebody posted a picture of the solar prominence that he claims to have taken, and he listed the equipment that he used. And somebody asked him about which planet did you take it from to be able to see the Earth in the corner of the picture. Don't know which probe took that picture of the sun, but the Earth was very, very obvious in the top right corner. And there is this gentleman claiming he took it from home with his telescope. While Serpens Nebula is stacking, I'm gonna go see where my ISS rendezvous is gonna take place. SkyTrack gives me a dump of second by second where it's going to be. I was eyeing 402.35. And I want to see if I can, at 100 degrees, 60 degrees, if that's going to be doable or not. Otherwise, we're going to have to wait another 5 seconds and see if that is a possibility. This is 100. And this is 60. Okay, I have enough stars here, so we're going to stay with that plan. Piece of cake. The reason, Tariq, is this is a very heavy scope on a mount that is not designed to carry it. But stacking usually fixes that problem. Andromeda is definitely the wrong target to image with an 11-inch scope. Yeah, it is still very low. Okay. Looks like M2 is right here in the corner. Okay, we can move it closer. Okay, Tarek, I will humor you here and refocus the scope. Good evening, Larry. Okay, we are refocused. Larry, let me give you an update of what's going on. We are right now capturing the Serpens Nebula, which is just north of the Eagle Nebula, giving it 150 frames. We're testing the new AI enhanced feature that DWARF Lab is developing. It gets applied at the end of a capture, at the end of a stack. So we started earlier with Vega, and then M13, and then Iris Nebula, Caldwell 4, and then M11, waiting for the moon. The moon should be up. Moon is up. Okay, as soon as we're done with this one, we will hop over to the moon. Getting the C11 ready, the Edge HD, because there's going to be a fascinating lineup of planets later this morning, with Saturn rising at just after midnight, and then Neptune, Mars, probably Mars for the first time this season. We should be able to get it at around 4 a.m. But at 4 a.m. the International Space Station is passing overhead as well. Stanley, yeah, that's the plan. We just tested it. I was under the wrong impression that the AI enhancement is applied every frame. Turned out it gets applied only at the end of the stack. Once you have the final image, that's what they are stretching and applying the AI to it. So I'm using it on D2, on Dwarf 2. And Larry, to chime in, the new filters on Dwarf 3, the dual band, is what I'm looking forward to most, because this picture right here would look very different with O3 and H-alpha inserted. Lauren, from the numbers that I have seen, even though Dwarf 3 has a higher resolution sensor, going with the 35mm aperture versus the Seestar's 50mm aperture still gives the Seestar the upper hand in terms of arc seconds per pixel. They decided to stay with the same field of view, so it's still about 3 degrees for Dwarf 3 versus the 1 degree for Seestar. But the other big improvement with Dwarf 3 is that the wide angle lens, which is about 50 degrees, will become programmable and stackable. And that will allow the Milky Way capture that no other smart telescope will do right now. So better is a relative term. If you're looking for wide angle, Dwarf will win it hands down. If you're looking for more detail on the smaller nebula and galaxies, Seestar will be better. Seestar could not do M31 or M45. Dwarf will do them easily. But then if you look at the ring nebula, M57, a dwarf will show it as a tiny dot. Lauren, I think John Nemetz posted pictures of the Milky Way that he took with D3. Yeah, I have not seen any DSO pictures with Dwarf 3 yet. Sounds like Robocop is suffering from global warming down in Australia. I bought a Dwarf 3 and I am expecting to get it sometime next month. They promised to send it to me early since I am part of their beta test team. Well, I promise everybody as soon as the Dwarf 3 arrives, I will line up Dwarf 2, Dwarf 3 and Seestar and put them on the same target and have the screen split in 3 and do the imaging side by side. The difference will remain the field of view. Seestar will remain limited to just about 1 degree, whereas the others will be 3 degrees. Lauren, when I met with the ZWO team, with the Seestar team at the NEF, they assured me that they are working on a large aperture Seestar. I tried to push them if it's going to be a 100 or an 80. They would not say. The DWARF team has been very innovative. I mean, it is certainly a smaller outfit than ZWO and a lot newer. But their responsiveness to the feedback that we're giving them has been incredible. Robocop, I don't know what Vaonis has done, but they went from Stellina, which was extremely innovative, went to Vespera, and now they have 4 different Vesperas out, all with the same size lens. They seem stuck with that format without much innovation lately. Tarek, you could be waiting forever because processors are going to get faster, memory is going to get cheaper, and return on investment when you can buy a Seestar or a Dwarf 3 at not much more than $400. You could not assemble this kind of equipment for less than 4 times or 5 times that much. Well, it depends what you want to do with the telescope. Right now, when I am not playing, I am contributing to the University of Kent science project as a what they call citizen science projects. We're capturing data with the Seestar and submitting it to them. See you later, Tarek. Good night, Mike. Thanks for joining us. And if you have a chance tomorrow, you may want to check and see what we will end up doing with the planets. Bill, I don't know if I've told you, I started painting my dome. And when I looked at it with the sun shining on it, it was so incredibly bright, I could not keep looking at it. I had to put sunglasses to look at it. It dropped the temperature inside it by about 20 degrees, and I'm not done with the painting yet. I promised to post pictures side by side, the before and after. It's already tomorrow here. Gentlemen, just to entertain you with one statistic. It was 45 years ago today, on June 25th, that I walked the stage and I received my Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering, and I've been practicing in that discipline ever since, 45 years as an engineer. Yep, 20 years in academia, 20 years in civil service, and now hopefully 20 years in astronomy. Thanks, Stanley. We're missing Paloo's reefer today. He convinced me to order USB meters that show how much current is flowing through the USB ports. I am perplexed with what's going on with the DWARF battery. I have a new adapter that's only 1.5 amps that I plugged it into it, and that thing has been stuck at 89% for an hour now. Fine with me, but it does not show that it's charging or discharging. The neighbors have not complained yet. Oh boy. Well, congratulations. Well, better late than never, I guess. One unfortunate limitation of dwarf is that it will not seek the moon or the sun. We have to manually go for them. Five frames to go, and then we'll see what AI will do to enhance it. Stanley, as you may know, there is an ASI air inside the Seestar, and the Seestar has been hit and miss lately. Most of the time it finds the sun and it finds the moon. Sometimes it does not. But dwarf, and I'll show you right away, when I tell it to go to the moon, it says, why don't you do it and let me know when you're done? So this is the Serpens Nebula. We will repeat that as soon as Dwarf 3 gets, to see how much difference the two filters will do. And current session. Open up the small one. There is another satellite. Function. Atlas. The moon. Okay, we're going to tell it to go to the moon. Place a dwarf on a flat surface and move the moon to the center of the telephoto view. Do it now. Okay. Okay, let's go back to video mode so we can move it. We have to stop the target first. Okay. that was literally grabbing dwarf by the neck and moving it to the moon. What is auto capture? That's new. Huh. Ladies and gentlemen, we just discovered a new function. It's called auto capture. What does it do? Ah, okay. That may be a dwarf 3. Let's do it the old-fashioned way for a minute. Setting. Infrared cut. Gain 0. Shutter 60. Okay, now we have a moon. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. I still marvel at the colors of the moon with the dwarf. It faithfully renders the uranium and the muck. Okay, now we're going to test the AI enhance on the moon by going to Astro mode and function settings. We have the enhance on. We're just gonna stack. Oh, these are going to be very fast, so 100 should not take too long. It's going to change the shutter on me anyway, so let's do it. It kept exposure and gain. And always the second stacked one is very noisy and then starts cleaning. Yep. Robocop, I do not remember the first time I fell in awe of the moon. It may well have been around the Apollo 11 landing. But yes, it is magnificent. Nightwave, that's your first mistake. Mac. Try an Android. Surprisingly, stacking is way behind capture. I wonder what enhancing is gonna do to this beautiful picture. Wilbur, I was wondering loud. I asked the folks if anybody knew where you were. Welcome to the party. You mentioned the deer tracking. We have an interesting situation in our backyard, namely Mama Doe dropped baby fawn, and apparently they leave them all day and come back, check on them. And baby fawn decided to hide under the garden house when a bobcat came to check on it. Fortunately, everybody left the party happy, and nobody was harmed in the production of that video. So it has taken the 100 frames. Now let's see, yeah, it's still stacking them. So it buffered over 50 frames. We also have a snapping turtle, about 12 inches in size, that visits us once a year in the second week in June, and digs a hole in our backyard and pushes eggs in it and then leaves. And this is the third year it has done that. We assume it's the same one, it could be a different one, but have never seen any baby turtles come out of that hole. Last year I put dwarf on the turtle as she was looking for a place to dig, and as the turtle went up and down, dwarf tracked it very nicely. The moon on the screen looks exactly like the moon outside, same colors, almost the same brightness. Saturn will be rising in another 5 minutes. Okay, 2 more frames and then we will watch and see if enhancing is applied to the moon. It did not do anything. Okay. I was planning to be at Oswego tonight, but I'm waiting to get a faster processor. Right now the computer that's out there is barely able to keep up. Alright, so there was no AI enhancing applied to the moon. And I do not think that we can catch the moon with the big guy. Ooh, something happened here. Okay, it slipped for some reason. Stop the live stack. What happened to my... I don't know if it's going to be able to see the moon. Bill, we're going with an Optiplex, with a Dell Optiplex, because it has 6 USB ports, USB 3 ports. When we enumerate, I think we found the moon. Alright, let's see if it is there indeed or in the trees. No, the big question is, can we find the Blue Lake? Should be somewhere here. Right around here. Bill, I was talking about USB ports. I need one to drive the mid, another one to drive the dome, a third one. 3 and 4 are for the 2 cameras, the guide scope and the main imaging camera. One to connect me to the outside world, and the last one for the mouse. Now, let's see if they have live stack for the moon. Okay, no. Tools. Aha. So it is attempting to stack. I have not played much with that. So I'm going to grab a few frames and then we'll stack them later. I think I'm looking at I prefer not to use a hub, Bill. If I can connect them directly to the desktop. I have used hubs in the past and they have been they have flaked out on me for one reason or the other. Can any of you guys confirm that this is roughly where the Ina crater is? All right, let's do a quick capture. Come on. This is a map of the moon. Yeah, this is where the Ina crater is. Let's see if we can see it there. So this is the guy. So yeah, this should be the Ina crater. Let's move it to the middle. This is Wilbur, something I'm looking forward to doing with the 16-inch scope, to see if we can see the blue in the crater. I don't know if it will do a better focus on the edge detection. Does not look like the focuser is making much difference. Okay, looks like it found. Not yet. Have not gotten the 16-inch remote controlled yet. Yes. So looks like this is the best we can do. One of the things that I like doing with the moon is telling the ioptron to stop tracking, and then that'll give us a flyover. Wilbur, you will appreciate that because you're a Mead user. Mead does not allow me to reboot. If I turn it off, or sorry, if I send it home, it insists on turning off. And that is a deal breaker when it comes to remote. Many times I need to send it back home so I know where it is. You probably know by now that the park position and the home position are not the same if the scope is equatorially mounted. It is the same if it is an Alt-Az mount. But if for any reason you send it to park, it says turn it off. Alright, let's go back to tracking. Okay, let's see if we can get to yeah, we're borderline on the dark side. Dwarf should be happily tracking, that's all. This is a very nice toy to look at details in the moon. I don't know if they have the landing sites. No. Yes, they do, maybe. Is this where, is this what you mean, Bill? Let's see if it knows Sabine. There is Sabine. And Ritter. There are many Ritters. These are all Ritters. Ouch. Okay, so yeah, these are the two craters, Ritter and Sabine. So this is Ritter and this is Sabine. Let's see if we can see them on the Edge HD. Maybe, maybe not. Too dark. Bill, they appear to be here. So maybe if I grab 1,000 frames, I can stack them. Yes. Yeah, the Apollo 11 landing was somewhere around here. I'm trying to stack them and see if we can make out Ritter and Sabine. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not used AstroSurface, it's definitely worth playing with that tool. Very, very easy to use. Okay, let's go with 48. Okay, this looks like good enough. That's what we have. Bill, I think this is Sabine, and this is Ritter. So these are the two astrosurface. I have a short 5-minute tutorial that shows how simple it is to use. Okay. I'm going to take another quick video of a flyover. Earlier when I tried to count how many tools I use, the number I think was in the 30s. And there is Tycho crater. Okay, how high is Neptune now? Not high. Saturn may or may not be high enough. Let's see. Four degrees has not cleared the mountains yet, but let's see anyway. Yeah, we're shooting into the mountain right now. It has not cleared it yet. Oh yeah, we forgot about that. Stop the moon. We are astro mode, function, Atlas. Time to go back to Andromeda. I'm curious to see what the AI Enhance will do to Andromeda. Okay. We'll go with a couple hundred. And it is auto enhance. We definitely want infrared cut, gain of 50, shutter of 10, 15, no, 10. Okay, let's go. It does not seem like it has cleared the trees yet. Seestar has the day off, Louis. Good to see you. Yeah, it looks like we're still in the trees. Okay, we're gonna stop it. You're welcome, Bill. Yeah, I learned it's best to use Facebook for notifications and YouTube for the actual work. So Saturn is not visible now, and Andromeda is not either. Oh, these are the veils up there. I wonder what dwarf will do with the veil. Okay, they recommend East Vale, let's go for it. This is taking long. Settings. Enhance on. Very sharp focus. Not much in the sky right now. Cocoon has always been a challenge for the 11-inch. We'll see if it's in any better position tonight. That is one problem with DWARF that I hope DWARF 3 will solve, and that's the filters. It does not do well with nebula at all. Don't know what's going on with the cocoon. Yeah, that's one target that the big scope has trouble imaging. So we'll go see if it can see Saturn yet. And Neptune is right behind it. No. Okay. There is something in the trees. And you can probably see a semblance of the Veil Nebula here trying to take shape. Interesting, it did the auto enhance or the AI enhance, and then not much really, not much showing. I want to see Andromeda. I want to see what happens there. I think we're still in the tree. Gentlemen, it's sounding like time to take a break and call it a night. I will most likely be back up in a couple hours to attempt to do the planets. But right now we are totally out of targets. So I wish you a good night, and we'll see what the night brings.